guys, Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're checking out the Flowmaster Flex FX single-side exit exhaust system with the black tip, fitting all 2022 and newer Toyota Tundras, excluding those hybrid models. Now, upgrading your exhaust system brings a lot of benefits to the table, and this one specifically will be for the Tundra owner looking for those benefits in a mildly loud and deepened tone exhaust for a more aggressive presence to their truck, in addition to a more finished appearance on the back. Now, as you heard in the sound clip, this will definitely add more character to the V6 without being over the top or annoying in the cab area. So it's gonna get a 2 out of 5 on the loudness meter for me, with 1 being completely stock and 5 being wake the neighbors loud. Now that sound level will make it a fantastic option for the daily driver, everyday commuter, or simply just the Tundra owner who wants those key benefits in the exhaust without any annoying drone, excessive cab noise, and without a hefty price tag. Now, the biggest benefit here is definitely going to be the sound, and diving a little bit deeper into it, it's really going to add a lot of that character, like I said, to the exterior of the truck with a low-toned rev and a pretty throaty note when getting into the higher RPM. Now, the best part about it is that this is going to produce very minimal cab noise, which you can hear when you get on it, but the interior is going to remain comfortable while you're cruising, which is going to be helpful for those highway circumstances. Now, you can thank the drone canceling technology in the Absorption Flow FX muffler here for that, deadening that extra frequency with the perforated inner tube and fiberglass packed muffler, which sounds fancy, but it's just going to deaden that extra drone. Now, while this is also not a mod that I recommend for power, Flowmaster does show a dyno-tested 11 horsepower and 12 pound-foot of torque increase paired with the twin turbo V6, which isn't much, but will do well as a supporting mod. So if you were curious about those power numbers, Flowmaster does have them listed. Now, this will be made of a 2.5-inch to 3-inch mandrel bent 409 stainless steel material, which will be right in the middle when it comes to the tiers of materials. It will provide a lot of good rust resistance, much better than the factory system or non-stainless materials, while saving you some cash compared to some higher grade stainless options, making it a great compromise. Now, on the back, this will have a 4.5-inch black ceramic coated tip with rolled edges for a super clean and finished appearance compared to the plain factory piping, giving your Tundra some style points. Now, the system will also come with factory located hangers in addition to all the clamps and hardware that you need, which will take all of the question out of the install. Now, for a full catback system, this is going to be relatively affordable at around $750. Now, compared to other choices in the category, again, this is going to have more of that simplistic configuration with the single side exit compared to some more in-depth setups, which I think brings a lot to the table if you're in search of a refined and more traditional appearance for your Tundra. Now, the configuration or setup here and the materials will also save you some cash compared to some other premium systems if you do want to keep it on the affordable side, while also reaping the benefits of a good-looking and good-sounding exhaust system. So install is going to be a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and with the right setup and experience, it should take you about 2 hours to get the job done. Now, at this point, we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on how to get this onto your Tundra at home. So that is going to wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into it.
For this install, you will need an impact, a ratchet, various size extensions, 14 mil swivel socket, 14 and 15 millimeter sockets, 14 millimeter wrench, a hanger removal tool, and also not shown here is a pole jack or a jack and jack stands. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing an exhaust on our Tundra, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a short video on how to remove your factory exhaust, and we'll see you when you get back.
All right, guys, for the first step of the uninstall, we're going to grab a 14 millimeter socket, a swivel socket, and an extension, and we're going to remove these 2 nuts. Next, we'll grab a hanger removal tool. We're going to remove this hanger out of the isolator. Now we can let this hang. We're going to go up to our middle isolator, and we're going to remove that over there. Now I'm going to have one hand holding on to the exhaust and the other to remove this isolator. Once that's popped out of place, could slide our tube out of these studs. We're gonna snake this out over the axle. And now we can snake our pipe over our axle. Just gonna snake it out. Now we can move on to the front part of the pipe. So now I have my 14mm socket, swivel socket, and extension, and we're gonna remove these two bolts out of the flange. Now we're gonna move over to the other side and do that same thing. Next, we'll be removing these two hangers. I have my pole jack to hold up the exhaust. So now I have my exhaust hanger removal. We're gonna remove these hangers. Now we have one more in the back, and then once that's done, our exhaust will be removed. Now using that same tool, we're gonna remove our last hanger. Make sure you hold up the end, the exhaust. Now I'm going to lower down my pole jack. Move it out of the way. Now we can remove
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we've shown you how to remove your factory setup, we can go ahead and start installing our new system. Now we're going to start at the factory cats with our new flange Y pipe essentially. It's going to come 2-in-1 into our muffler. So we're going to reuse those factory string bolts, get those pipes attached to our factory cats, come out to meet the muffler, then we'll go from there. Now one thing to note here is we do have those factory donut gaskets still in place. These are kind of tricky to install. You don't want to put one too far in because that's going to prevent getting the other one on. Now this does get a little taxing to try to hold with both arms and try to get the screw in. So we've got our pole jack here to help us out. Let me go ahead and work this other spring bolt in. Now that we've got both these in, we're going to snug these bolts down. We're not going to fully tighten them yet. Then we can go ahead and do the same thing for our other cat. As you can see, we still have a little bit of movement here. And we'll do the same thing over there. So next what we're going to do is install our muffler, and we're going to grab two of our provided 2.5-inch clamps, slide those over our muffler inlet section. We're going to actually remove these hangers, put them on the muffler side. They're much easier to install. That way we'll slip them back on the isolators here, and then we'll go ahead and snug down our clamps once we get our slip fits over our muffler inlet section here. First we'll go ahead and pop these isolators off. Very easy to come off by hand. We'll slide those onto our hangers on our muffler, and then go ahead and get our clamps on and get our muffler in place. Now we've got those on. Go ahead and throw our clamps on our inlet section here. It's always nice to have these opposing and facing down so you can have easy access to your clamps. And we'll go ahead and get these in place. Go ahead and line our slip joints up. You always want to make sure those go in. It's a lot easier to do the isolators after these are in. Get our isolators in place. Now that we have those on, we can go ahead and snug down our clamps. Now we're going to snug these down with our 15mm socket on our impact. We're not going to fully tighten them yet because we want room for adjustments along the way. Now we can go ahead and install our muffler outlet pipe. So what we're going to do is throw a 3-inch clamp on our slip joint coming out of our muffler, get this into our 2 factory exhaust isolators, and then go ahead and get that seated, snug that clamp down, again with our 15mm socket. So next we can go ahead and install our over axle section. So again, we're going to grab one of our provided 3-inch clamps. We're going to slide that into our muffler outlet pipe that we just installed, and then go ahead and install our over axle section and get the isolator into the rear hanger mount here, and then we'll go ahead and snug that clamp down again. Now to snug this clamp down, it is easier to go ahead and add a long extension and come in from behind your diff. So next we can go ahead and install our tail section and our tip. So we'll start with our tail section. We'll grab another clamp, slide that over our slip joint, get it in position, snug it down, and then install our tip. Get that pointing where we want it to. Go ahead and snug our tip down, or our clamp rather. Now we can go ahead and put our tip on. Now this has a little adjustability, whether you want it to be flush with your rear bumper section or if you want it to stick out. We're going to go ahead and stick ours out just a little bit. Make sure our slash cut is facing upwards, and we'll come back and tighten that down. So now we'll go ahead and tighten our tip clamp down with our 14mm socket on our ratchet and a 14mm wrench. So now once you have your tip on, we'll go back and fully tighten down all of our hardware, making sure nothing hits, nothing rattles, and nothing's gonna make anything melt with excessive heat. So now we'll come back and tighten down our spring bolts at our flanges with our 14mm swivel socket and extension on our impact. Now we can tighten down the rest of our remaining clamps with our 15mm socket on our impact. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Flowmaster Flex FX single exhaust system with black tip and side exit for your 22 to current Tundra, excluding the hybrid. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Tundra, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.